Continuation to my last video, here's why I think the valuation of cryptocurrencies in general at the moment is just nonsensical. A lot of the optimistic investors of cryptocurrencies and their supporters, they're chasing a pipe dream and this assumption they're advocating, which is there will be increased adoption of cryptocurrencies in the future. And that either comes in the form of more businesses accepting it or more blockchain transactions. Now, if you were to look at the current figure of this adoption, it paints a very interesting picture. At the moment, if you were to look at the top 3 currencies, the most popular ones, you see that Ethereum currently dominates at about 1.1 million transactions a day, Bitcoin at around 300,000 transactions a day, and Dogecoin at around 50,000 transactions a day. Altogether, they make up about 1.5 million transactions a day, let's say. Now, if you were to compare this 1.5 million transactions a day to the market capitalization of these coins, it is a very interesting figure about their valuation. Because at the moment, Bitcoin is being valued at $1 trillion at the moment, and Ethereum is about 400 billion, and Dogecoin about close to around 80 billion. Altogether, they hold up to 1.56 trillion in terms of their market capitalization, which is a very substantial figure. Let's compare that to established means of payment, like for example, the biggest being credit cards, something similar, let's say. Now, credit card transactions last year altogether make up about 369 billion transactions throughout the whole year. So that's an average about 1 billion transactions a day, let's say. This 1 billion, when compared to crypto transactions, cryptos don't even make up 1%. In fact, the more close to 0.15% of transactions a day. Yet the market capitalization of the big credit card companies, like let's say Visa and MasterCard, they're about 500 billion and about 366 billion respectively. Together, 800 billion, let's say. Compared to the $1 trillion sort of market capitalization of these crypto companies, it doesn't really make sense at the moment, the valuation, when you consider that the transactions don't even come close to even 1%. Yet the valuation has surpassed all these companies, not to mention so many other companies that are truly established in the market with actual figures. So that is very worrying. Of course, the sort of pipe dream is that people are getting in on it now, that the figures might not be there, but it's just such a far stretch at the moment that the valuation has ballooned so much. We don't even know how the actual usage would be in the future with so much volatility surrounding these currencies. Furthermore, we don't know what sort of regulatory responses and what sort of consumer behavior, market adoption behaviors we'll see in the future. It's just so far off, yet the valuation at the moment has ballooned and ballooned and ballooned. And that's why it is very worrying, and the valuation is also quite nonsensical at the moment. And that's why when you look at people advocating these currencies, I think we have to look at the figures.